update of what's going on, but also this particular broadcast, this one right here, I have to confess, I have to admit, I'm gonna do a little venting on this one. So let me see if I can get my fanciness on and try to share this to my personal page. If I make this work, guys, you all should be real impressed. Let me see. Share. Bam. Oh Lord. Okay. So forget about being impressed. I'll be impressed if I could just get this to work. What I can do is I'll go back and share it later. However, you know what? I don't want you all to have to wait. Go ahead and hit the share button because this particular broadcast is going to be one in which I'll share some highs, some lows, and give some suggestions. Is that fair? Hopefully that's fair. So for those of you all who are new to this, my name is Sia Knight. I am the College Savvy Coach. I help busy families plan, prepare, and get into a position where they can pay for college. And I do that by giving timely and relevant information about what's going on with college admissions today. Then you can try to make sure that your child is in the right position in order to take advantage of what's available. So that's what I do, right? So what I wanted to talk about today is, let's start with the good. The good. This is the time of year where you'll see a lot of people and they are on and they are they're getting scholarships. There's one young lady who I saw who had 8 Ivies that she had been admitted to, or I think it's the 8 Ivies and Stanford. Stanford usually counts as because it's super competitive. So she did a wonderful job. There were 4 brothers who had all gotten into their quads and they had all gotten into, I think, Harvard and Yale. So that's a wonderful, wonderful story to tell. And I'm glad these stories are being told because it's important to make sure that we're not just kind of beating up our young people like, oh, you guys are just so, insert whatever you would like about the young people of today. But there are a lot of young people who are out there. They're focused, they're talented, and they are getting it done. So kudos to those students and also to the parents. Real shout out to the parents because I know it's not easy when we have students who are in high school. The natural reaction is to kind of, all right, I'm going to fall back now, Skippy, who is my favorite student, by the way. Skippy is a junior, so Skippy should know what he's doing. So I'm going to let him go ahead and do it. And if he doesn't do it, fine, because it's his life. I've got my college degree. If Skippy doesn't do what he's supposed to do, then too bad. Okay, I hear and see a lot of that. So the folks who are saying that, and this is my ranting part, so cue the ranting music. What I hate about this time of year is I hate that I have parents of seniors. Shout out to the parents of all the seniors there. I have a good number of them who are coming to me and they are in a real predicament. Either one, the parents have not, or the students haven't applied to they haven't applied anywhere, or they applied and they didn't get into their school. So now they're scrambling, trying to figure out what they're going to do. That's one predicament. And the second predicament I often see is this. We have parents, students who've applied to a particular school, and now it's become somewhat of a reality. Like the student got in, they were admitted. We're all happy. We're all excited. We're all pleased until we find out that there's not enough money. So I was just watching a live stream from someone else who does a very similar thing to this, to what I do as a college savvy coach. And I loved what she said because she said it in the most direct way possible. She said, I'm not a miracle worker. If you're coming to me in April and you have a senior and they haven't taken the SAT or they haven't, they haven't applied for any scholarships or any outside money, it's going to be very difficult to assist that student and to make sure that you can maximize opportunities. It's going to be difficult. But what I will say is this: it's not impossible to find aid. It just takes a lot of work. So now, here's the deal. Those of you all who are in that situation, I'm very sorry. But my job as a college savvy coach is to make sure that those of you all, if you are not a high school senior, if your child's not in senior year yet, I'm talking to you in this live. I've already told you how sad and disappointing it is for me to talk to parents who are in a situation like, oh, my child's applied to 20 scholarships, but hasn't gotten any. So that's tough. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to the parents who have children who are a little bit younger, so that next year you're not in that situation. So I've got some tips. I think I've got 3 of them. 3 tips. 4 tips. It just evolves. I've got 4 tips on what to do to make sure that your child is ready to step into senior year. It's very important because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be one of those shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you're just sad, you're depressed, you're venting. You don't want that. So here's some things that you can do in order to make sure that your child is ready to step into senior year. Number 1, make sure you have a strategy for college admissions testing. Make sure you have a strategy in that there's a calendar that you've looked at, you've studied, and that you are you're clued in as to kind of what's going on, to make sure that you're not waiting until the last minute. Say your child decides he or she wants to apply early, and those early applications are often due in October, some of them November. November 1's a big deadline. So if your child is on the fence and may want to apply early, make sure that you have the college admissions testing, the ACT and the SAT, out of the way. One thing that's brand new this year, August, this will be the first time that the SAT is being offered in August. So there you go. That's a wonderful tip from the College Savvy Coach. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is make sure that you are looking for meaningful activities for your rising senior. Now, back in the day, back when I was coming up and senior year was upon us, it was kind of like, oh, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to have our last hurrah. We're going to relax. The classes were very much the same way when it came to senior year classes. So we're just going to chill. You have to take English and government. That's what we took. And then whatever. You can take some underwater basket weaving. We could take some, toenail clipping 101. We could take lots of different classes that we're interested in. Yeah, no, that's not going to cut it. But I want you to make sure that you're making the most of this summer before senior year. So we're talking about summer jobs. Again, saving money for school. Also internships. Whatever your son or daughter is interested in, try to find out if you can find a friend of a friend who may know someone who needs some help over the summer. Let them get a real taste of what it's like to be a veterinarian. Okay, and when they find out that, oh, you know what, I want to be a veterinarian, but I don't really like dogs. I like cats, I like birds, but I don't really like dogs. When they go into the office and they see lots of dogs around, that could be an issue. So that's the second thing. So when ready to step into senior year, testing. Also, summer jobs, internships. The third thing is community service. And we see and we hear about this and how important is community service. Meaningful community service it's a good thing. And community service becomes probably more important when it comes time for scholarship season. Hey, Talisha, how are you doing? Get Scope Scribe on the line. Make sure you share this, Talisha, and anyone else who may be watching this, because I see there's some people on, but you guys are lurking. You're not saying hi to you, girl. That's fine. I won't take offense, but make sure you share this, because this is the season when lots of tears flow, when there's lots of sadness, lots of melancholy, because the parents of current seniors, they may not have done everything they could in advance. Now, we love seeing the stories about those seniors who are getting into those really competitive schools. They're on top of it. They are doing it. Those aren't the ones who are calling me. So just saying. So what I was doing is I'm coming up with, hello, hey Jess, how are you? I'm communicating some things that you can do as parents to make sure that your child is prepared to step into senior year. When you're in here, if you want to just give me an idea of what grade your child's in, you can type that in the box as well. Now, this is really, really wholeheartedly, more specifically for moms and dads of juniors. However, I know some of y'all are on it. You want to make sure that you are early. You want to make sure that you're ahead of the curve. So that's fine. That's awesome. So I've talked about some of the things. Yes, Talisha, you're rising ninth grader and gymnastics star. So wonderful. So I wanted to communicate some of the things that you make sure you have done by senior year, so you're not scrambling, so you're not just very, very sad. So I talked about making sure that your college admissions testing is out of the way. You be surprised how many people come to me in February and March and they have seniors and they haven't taken the SAT or the ACT. That's very sad. And then also we have make sure that you're making the most of the summer jobs, internships, etc. Community service. I talked about that. You have to make sure that's usually specifically for scholarships, kind of a key element. And the last thing that I want to communicate, especially those of you who have rising seniors, make sure that you have a college application strategy and a calendar. Now, this is something that you can do yourself. You can get, especially some of us moms are really, really organized, and in what we do at work, we are tasked with making sure that we've crossed the T's and dotted the I's. So what I suggest and what I do with my clients is I come up with a college admissions strategy, a calendar. When are all the deadlines of the colleges? And not only is your child applying early, are they applying regular admission, but also, and lean in for this one, not only when are the deadlines, when are the priority deadlines? Because you might have a deadline of January 1, but if you look closely, if you take a look at the fine print, to be considered for university aid or university merit scholarships, you had to apply by December 15th. So make sure that you are paying close attention. But what you should do by July, you should have that all calendared out. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm rolling with it. You should have it all planned out on a calendar. What about the essays for the scholarships? What about the deadlines for the scholarships themselves? How about the college admissions testing? You can already see when the tests are going to occur. So you know where you are. If you have a current junior, you know if your junior's taking the test already. If not, you need to know exactly when your junior's taking that test. So there's a lot to do. And some people hear me talk about it and some people get overwhelmed and you start hyperventilate. Okay, you don't have to. If your child's in 11th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade, 8th grade, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You just have to do things one step at a time. And it can be done. What I hate happening is when we wait until senior year, the holidays are miserable. They're terrible because mom's trying to get dinner together and mom's trying to get everything and the relatives are here and everybody's asking Skippy what school he's going to and he doesn't know. Skippy hadn't even started on the applications. And you as Skippy's mom, you know, and you say, oh, he hasn't even done those applications. That's terrible. So it's not a good situation. It's not a good scene. But I want you to consider, I want you to imagine, I want you to think about a situation where by November 15th, most of it's done. You're good because you started in August, you started in July, you started even in June, getting those things together. So that's what I want to kind of bring that picture in your mind. If you don't have a senior, then it's possible. If you have a senior, then I can refer you to someone else who can maybe help in a different type of way. So what I've done, here's what I've done. I've gone out on a limb because I can't spend another spring people coming to me and saying, oh, what can we do? I don't want that. So if you have a junior, I'm talking to you specifically. I've developed a virtual summer senior academy. How did I put it? Senior Summer Academy. This is for rising 12th graders. We're going to get online once a week. It's 4 sessions. I'm going to walk your rising senior through college applications, college essays. We're going to develop that calendar. We're going to talk about how to start looking for money. So those are the things that I'm going to do. It's my contribution so that next year I can just be smiling and so happy and like, oh, I'm so glad that so many more people are kind of not in panic mode. So if you know someone who has a current junior, and I'm limiting it. Actually, I'm only opening up 10 spots. So, and when the spots are gone, they're gone. So if you know someone who has a current 11th grader, so it's a rising senior, share this link with them. I think I may be pointing correctly. I don't know. I'm on the program and I can't see. It's a bit.ly/Senior Summer Academy. And there's more information on the landing page about kind of exactly the topics we're going to discuss and the length, etc. So that's what I want you to do. My motto is I want you to plan it so you don't have to panic. So I feel better now. I have vented about how sad I feel when I have parents of seniors come to me for help and advice, and I do what I can and I'm scrambling. But what I want to do is I wanted to set something up, and so I've done that so that next year's parents of seniors, they can be relaxed. They can lay back. They can go to a pool somewhere with a nice cool beverage. They can just chill as opposed to being frantic. So that's all I have for you this evening, everyone. If you have any questions, type them like nowish so that I can go ahead and try to answer it before I sign off. But I appreciate you guys coming on, allowing me to talk through some of my frustration and also share about what I am planning to do. Oh, no problem, Miss Talisha. Thank you so much for joining me. As usual, you're riding. I know your daughter is going to be good to go when it's time for her to start applying for schools and such. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a good evening. And until next time, guys, stay savvy. Bye.